going live. We're live. Ah, awesome. That only took an extra 20 minutes. Good morning. Cheers, everybody. I have not done a live stream of any kind since the year 2020, when all that stuff was going on. All the COVID stuff. So welcome along to my test session. I'm not really expecting anybody to be looking at this. So this is kind of just going to be me talking to myself and just trying to test out my sea legs for live streaming again. This will be a bit different. The live streams before were all about playing guitar and singing and stuff like that. But I'm a composer now, so this is going to be more about composing. So we're going to do a little bit of that later on. But I had this kind of broken up into two halves, but I don't have as much time as I thought because I spent 20 minutes trying to figure out how to get my OBS working and all that stuff. So if you are watching this live or you were waiting for it to happen, it's happening now. Yeah, and a little late because I had some OBS. If you're not familiar, OBS is the broadcasting software that you have all your cool stuff going on it. So I'm back on YouTube after like five years. I was looking at my last streams. It was November 2020. So what have you been up to for 5 years? I'd love to know. What have you been up to? Have you been up to cool stuff? We had a baby in our house. Another one, our third, number 3, little girl. And she came along in 2021. So there was COVID happened. And then a baby happened. And then I went back to college to study as a composer for film music. And that's what I'm doing now. And my New Year's resolution of 2025 is to do more YouTube stuff, including live broadcasts like this one. So the plan is every Friday to come on here and do a little bit of composing and drink some coffee and talk to any composers or people who are trying to set up a YouTube channel. Cheers. I'm very conscious of the sound of this microphone when you drink something. It sounds weird. It's got that weird, that phobia that some people have when you're eating something or drinking something, and it sounds really horrible. So I'm sorry for the coffee sounds. But anyway, yeah, so I'm back on YouTube. And in an effort to do more YouTube-y things. So if you're free on a Friday or at any time when you want to watch a live broadcast, which isn't live, but I'll still get comments and stuff. So if you want to come on and comment. But yeah, so if you're setting up a YouTube channel and you want some accountability and you want some help, don't look at me. I can't help you. But I am willing to talk about it with you if you want. And also, if you're into film composing and trying to change your career, as I'm doing at the moment, from full-time guitar player, musician person to now being a composer. And I know tons of secrets about how to actually compose things. And I know no secrets about how to get work and how to secure those jobs. So if you're a composer type person and you want some accountability for sending out emails and want someone to talk to who is in the same position as you, then you're in the right place. So come along, say hi, and tell me what you're up to. Tell me what it is that you do. So music-wise, for me and film composing, there are so many film composers that I love, but what I would consider myself the style I'm kind of going for is like somewhere between John Carpenter, meets A24, thrillery, horror, sci-fi. They're my, that's what I want to do. Kind of weird soundland. Orchestral stuff is really cool. It's not my, I didn't grow up with, well, everyone grows up with orchestral music and orchestral film scores, but I didn't grow up writing that. So that's a big learning curve. It's like in college we got to write for big orchestra, and that was so exciting. So it's doable, but it's not my number one, and it's not my number one priority. But if you're a filmmaker watching this and you want some orchestral music, no problem, absolutely fine. I just prefer messing around with synths and things. And that's what we're going to do a bit of later on. You're going to watch me fiddle around with synths and try and make some cool sounds. Did I say all that I wanted to say about YouTube and stuff? I don't know. Maybe I did. This would maybe as well. Dreams for the live stream is to kind of get a Google Hang type vibe where I can do these live streams with other people. Other composers. I'm looking to meet other composers and people who are maybe small room producers like myself. I have to get a more YouTube-y friendly looking studio. This is, this weird light here. It just looks crap. So again, I will put it on my list of things that I need to do before I can actually do the thing that I want to do. So anyway, as we digress, let's dive into some music. So yeah, we had a really good talk this week from the Screen Composers Guild, the Irish Screen Composers Guild, and that's your first port of call if you're looking to be a media composer. That is like the first place to go, because if you're living in Ireland, of course, I don't know what the equivalents are in other countries, but that's what it is in Ireland. And Paul Hartnell from Orbital, such a great band, and he was talking about his process for film scoring, and I wanted to mess around with one of the topics he talked about, which was to take a monosynth and split it up into chords and pan it out into right and left. So I'm going to use four voicing chords. I don't know how you are with theory and things like that. We can talk about it if you want, but I tried to make one of these videos as a proper YouTube video where you're talking and using Logic, and I just ended up kind of going me and singing weird stuff. So I'm going to try and talk a little bit more about my process as I go. So yeah, so I've got 4 mono synths, mini Moogs. This guy here. Oh, my plugins don't show up in OBS. That's weird. Can I show it here? Let me see. And no, that doesn't work either. See, every time you use these softwares, there's like another thing that... See, here I go again. This is like, you stop talking once you start trying to multitask. I'm not a good multitasky person. Will that do it? No. See, I'm trying to get the window back here. See this blank space? I don't know how it's showing up in real life land. This was a great idea in my head. I'm going to get into Logic and do stuff, and I can't even get the size of my window right. I just want a normal size window. No. I want the full screen window. How do I do it? Fill and arrange. There we go. So I have my mini Moog here, but for some reason, and I don't know if I'm going to go into it right now because I'm aware that this stream is already going on for like 10 minutes of me rambling kind of mindlessly. So let me put my keyboard down for a minute and unmute the stereo sound so we can kind of get into this composy business. So there it is, basic old synth sound. And we're going to try and just make some chords and mess around with it. That's our goal of the day. Our goal of the day is to arrange. So normally how you think about synths is the difference in idea about the, I'm talking about it from a totally composer point of view. I'm not talking about it from you know, dialing in specific things and specific sounds. We're talking about this from a compositional point of view, in that usually with a synth, usually with a mono synth, you're thinking mono lines, you're thinking one line, either probably a bass line. So if you have something like a mini Moog, you're going to have this. You know, you've got this bass line going and it's a bit farty. So I'm going to pick something else. Purists, look away now. I want something. So what I want to do is mix 4 of these mono synths and try and blend them as a chordal sound. So yeah, thanks Paul Hartnell for this. And you can thank him to yourself if you're actually listening to this, because you don't know how it's going to sound. So it could sound awful. So I've picked 4 voiced chords. So I'm just going to do extended chords, like jazz chords. I think they're called tetrachords, I don't know, 4 chord. So 1st, 3rd, 5th, and then an additional 7th. And yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm going to pick super simple too. And the idea will be, as you kind of mess around with this 4 or 8 bar loop, to switch around some things and maybe try and get some nice voice leading. And then when you're happy with the progression, to then start manipulating the sound within the synth and see the synth. There's the Irish accent coming through. Yeah. Irish people should not talk about synths. Because we can only talk about synths. Anyway, back to my elocution days. Yeah, so I just do something in the key of, let me see, nice synthy key, A minor. And I'm going to I want it kind of around there. I'm going to pick a random tempo. I like to start coming in all of my projects after 2 bars, just to give, you know, I'll move it all in the editing process afterwards. So let's see. Okay, so we want a bass. So bass, default bass. I don't want it too muddy, but I want something with a little bit of a tail. So that's quite cool. And again, to save your ears of me messing around with a synth for the next half an hour, I'm going to... So that's nice. That's our bass. So we'll pick... I think we're going to pick some... We'll pick a 4 bar loop, 8 bar loop. So we have A... Let's do 1625. So 1625 in A is A, F sharp, B, E, A. But it's going to be minor, so yeah, sounding a little bit too happy for me at the moment. So let's change out some of these chords. We might change the 2 chord for something tritone away from B. So it's an F. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, the bit more syncopated thing. One more time. So it's still kind of getting a feel for what it is I want to play. But again, this is just messing around with an idea. That's what the whole point of this live stream is about. Just trying out little nuggets of ideas and seeing if there's potential in them for development. 2, 3. Cool. Okay, so again, the other windows don't pop up, which is kind of annoying. I'm going to have to fix that for the next live stream if we're working in Logic again. I just opened up, actually, I opened up a separate edit window for the MIDI here, but I can open it here, which is great. Except now my head's in the middle. Anyway, this is probably messing with your stream if you're watching this, but never mind. So here with this, I just want to select all my MIDI and super quickly quantize it. Let's have a listen. Yeah. Okay, so not a bad old sound. It's fine. It'll do. And next we're going to still stay on the Mini Moog, but we're looking for this kind of tenor. This kind of tenor mid-rangey note. So we're going from I'm gonna think in terms of like the fifth. So root and fifth, this should probably be on the bottom here if I'm being very particular about it. So we're gonna go bass. Excuse me, there's that weird voicey thing again. Bass. And oops, didn't mean to do that. Tenor. And we'll have like an alto line. And we'll have a soprano. So there's SATB. It does come in handy sometimes. So the tenor line is going to be fifths. So we're in A. That's a bit, I'm not overly keen on that sound. So let's get something like this. Yeah, still a bit farty for me. I want something. Okay, this is the wrong plugin, isn't it? I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you can hear it. I have no idea until I watch back. So a bit, yeah, not too bad. That's similar to the other one. That's totally California Low, isn't it? So I'm not interested in too much modulation just for the minute. And I'm not really interested in too much dirt. So yeah, some of these are awesome. So this is quite interesting. Yeah, let's get into this kind of sound, because we're going to be changing the sounds up later. So this is just fill in the dots of it. So 5. So A minor, so E. F sharp. No, I have to remember to keep talking because I'm on a live stream. Sorry, I'm just working out what the 5th of what an F sharp minor is, which is of course C sharp to C and to B. So okay, yeah. This is what I'm talking about when you're on a live stream and you're working something out and you forget that you should be talking about what your process is. That was the whole point of this, to get your process across. So get your point process across. So yeah, here's the 5ths. Okay, so the most awesome playing of all time. So if this is sounding less than interesting, you can blame Paul Hartnell because he gave me the idea. So there you go. And this one is a bit wonky. So this one we go to our B minor. Our B minor, that should be an F sharp. So we're going to acoustic copy. You can't see what I'm doing here because my face is in the way, but I'm editing some MIDI here to being an F sharp. So okay, so it's sounding all messy and muddled and it has the same rhythm. Again, you know, this is just to get stuff down, and I'm going to start playing around with rhythms and sounds as we get further on into it. So I'm going to put the thirds. Actually, no, I'm going to put the 7ths in here because I always find a seventh chord voiced with the 7th on top is always a little bit. Yeah, so I like to put the 7 in next. So we've got this A minor 7, and we're going to be up here. So for this, I want to pick a slightly lighter sound, I think, and it's going to be maybe a bell, some sort of bell. Yeah, okay, that's kind of nice. So 7, flat 7, because it's A minor, is going to be G, and then F sharp. This is going to be minor 7, so F sharp, flat 7 is E, and then flat 7, So there's some nice voice leading already coming in here because we've got G, we've got E, then we've got E flat or D sharp because we're flat 7 of F, and a D, which is going to be the flat 7 of E minor. So we got a nice little chromatic movement from the E flat to D. Just for you music nerds out there. And then the second time around, and we want to, so yeah, again, this is hard to explain and do at the same time. So yeah, I don't know if you're still watching this at this stage. I think you're amazing. Whoops. And I had the wrong record armed there, which, yeah, rookie mistake. 2. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful playing and beautiful amazingness. So, yeah, we're kind of running out of time. So the last up then is the thirds. And we're going to be up here. And here, so I can tell straight away that the 4 synth sounds that I've taken are so kind of disparate sounding. They don't sound together at all. So, yeah, so that's going to be a problem. But, you know, let's try this. That's a bit hard. Yeah, we'll refine them all later. Again, this is so part of the composition process, and it's the most fun part really, is this initial stage where you're literally just throwing down ideas and then refining those ideas later on as you go on. So it's very detrimental. I find at this part, it's very detrimental if you get too stuck on the intricacies of everything. So don't get stuck messing around with sounds for ages. You can always change your sounds later on. It's kind of, is this overall feel giving you something that you can use, and try and bypass your brain and bypass your active thinking. So you're trying to get into, you know, the subconscious and avoid all the crap that goes around in your head while you make music. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're doing we're on thirds this time. So we go up here nice and high because we're in soprano. So third of A is now. Are we going to make them all minors? See, this is cool because this is where the harmony starts to change. So I'm going to try a few different ideas here. Are they all going to be minor or are they going to be major? So okay, so I totally made a balls of that. and the sounds are all over the place. So yeah, the very first thing I'm going to have to do is fix the sounds to sound more homogeneous. But, you know, I'm not worried about that yet. This is, you know, flies in the face of the point I just made previously to me messing up that little bit. So let's just check what we got. We got A minor, flat 3, C, and we're going to do F sharp minor. Then we have F minor. Yeah, so this might be cool. And then do okay, so crap sounds really all around, but I've got in my tetrachord here, and they're all minors, which is nice. So I'm going to jump in here and change around to very, very straight up. I'm going to change the top two voices to the exact same. And okay, and the bottom two voices, I'm going to make them the same, just to kind of even out the sound a little bit. So this was Kraftwerk E. Cool. So let's see if that evened it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm not digging those bells at all. I'm going to go in and just edit this as well. So I want every note to be a little bit longer, really. But yeah, you don't really want to see that. How are we doing on our stream here? Anybody joined us? Let's have a look, see. No, but maybe you'll join us later. And we're 33 minutes in, but we are going to finish a little bit early because I got to go. Okay, this is the part if you're actually making a video like for YouTube where you just time lapse it so it's really fast. So here I just want to edit a load of MIDI in one go, and it's just going to take me ages. So actually there is a way you can do this. This is the forced legato, isn't it? And this is another part of composing that I don't know if other composers do this. You get an idea in your head and you want to go research it as you're writing, and it just takes ages. But yeah, I'm gonna try this forced legato. There was weird noises happening outside. Is there a shortcut for forced legato? So forced legato is just extending notes. So here, I could edit trim, yeah. And trim, edit and trim to Yeah. Note end. Yeah. I think every time you work with MIDI, you find new things. Note end to following notes. So there you go. And we'll do all here. Can I edit all of these notes at the same time? This is one thing that kind of annoys me when you're trying to edit multiple note end to following note. Yeah, so I've just selected one note and done it there. So I don't know if there's a shortcut for force legato. Oh, there is. It's up and backslash. But it didn't work. Nope, that didn't work. See, this is, oh, it's shift and backslash. No, that didn't work either. Okay, can't do it there for some reason. Won't allow me to force legato. So cards on the table, every time you work with MIDI or... So, okay, that kind of worked for some of them, but not all of them. Why it didn't, I don't know. Ah, there we go. Ah, there we go. So it worked for everyone. Okay, that's coming together a bit nicer now. Just because everyone hates the sound of clicks, I will spare your ears the click. Okay, so let's look at this bass line on its own then and see what we can do about maybe getting the sounds a little bit cooler. So because I'm dealing with sounds, specifically sounds and not the harmony, I'm just going to loop a couple of bars so I can kind of start getting in and getting a bit more granular with it. So right now I'm it's nice and subby, which is nice, but it's also a little bit thuddy. So this guy, I often thought it might be good to have a diary of sound engineer terms that are just, they sound really stupid, but you still understand what they mean, like a whomp and a thump and a blump. So a sound engineer will automatically know what kind of whereabouts in the frequency range you're talking about. Okay, cool. You can jump octaves. That's cool. So let's mess around with the waveform a little bit. So again, there's a lot more. I have a plugin open here, and I haven't figured out how to show it in Logic yet, or in OBS. But maybe next week, unless I get so many comments of like, that was the most boring live stream I've ever had to sit through in my life. Why did you do that to me? Which is fair. But it's also why there's nobody actually watching it at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning. Ah, here we go. So we're getting a little bit more definition, a little bit more noise. And a little bit of oscillation there, which is nice. Too much? The oscillation's pretty cool. I like that. Let's have a look at some of this. And see if we can get some of the sustain going. Well, the sustain is up. So this is definitely the most fun part of the whole thing. So and now. Yeah, so again, here's me trying to mess around with a synthesizer and forget that I'm doing a live stream at the same time. I'm supposed to be explaining what part of this process is. So I've moved on to the tenor line, and I realize now that not being able to see the window for the synth is kind of annoying for you if you are watching this live stream. So let me see. Yeah, I don't want to mess around with it too much because, you know, maybe in here I can show Logic Pro with, yeah. No, that doesn't do it at all. That just turns everything off, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't. Okay. So you just have to take my word for it. I do have a plugin open here. It's the Universal Audio Mini Moog. And I have a default setting. I have a preset loaded, Kraftwerk, which is clearly a reference to Kraftwerk. And I'm going to take that as my starting off, jumping off sound, and I'm going to mess around with some of the oscillation, some of the LFOs, and yeah, just see if I can kind of start shaping the sound a little bit more. This is the first time I've kind of done anything like this in terms of mixing 4 mono synths together to try and get this homogeneous sound. In my mind, it was going to be like a really cool string section, but as you can hear, it's not quite that yet. But it does have some potential. You can do this on any mono synth, by the way. And, you know, as you can see, I just literally played in two notes at a time. Let's see what, oh, maybe a glide would be nice. Yeah, it's a little glide there, isn't it? So this one, it's got a good bit of harmonic information, but it's only the 5th of the chord, so we can afford to actually modulate this quite a bit if we want to. Yeah, so this kind of sound here. Oh yeah, so we got a lot of low end there, which is cool, but it might be a bit too much when we mix it with the other bass. So it's almost given a kick drum kind of vibe, isn't it? Yeah, I kind of like it, but I'm looking for something that's going to make it cut through a little bit more, because the sub sound in that bass is just, it's quite overwhelming, isn't it? But it's pretty cool all the same. Now, I just want to get some noise happening here. No, that's too much. And maybe that's quite cool, isn't it? There's a little bit of a pulse going on. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know how well you can hear this from Logic, actually. I hope you can hear it. So I'm digging that. I'm thinking that's working quite well together. So let's see what happened. Now that's a terrible sound. This is our bell. This is our alto. And yeah, I'm not liking this electric piano-y kind of style at all. Let's have... Wow. That's a bit cooler, isn't it? Now we're getting somewhere. So this is starting to take a little bit more shape now. So this, I want it to be a little bit crazier, I think. So I'm starting to like some of the sub I'm hearing here, and some of this pulsating stuff that's going on there as well. That's cool. And let's see about an LFO here. Yeah, sorry again, you can't see what I'm doing here, so yeah, all you can hear is this repeating kind of stuff. Yeah, that's quite cool. So the attack is starting to come on there. So yeah, I'll just give your ears a little bit of a rest for that. Let's have a listen to it on its own, see where it's going. So yeah, the pulse was cool, but I'm not digging it as much now. But I do like the sustain, so. And up with the attack. And here again, that kind of percussive attack I'm not liking as much. And this is really how you get into, I don't know how like, if you've been listening to me, I probably sound like a total madman for the last few minutes. And let's deal with the soprano now. So here, it's not so much mellow, but definitely not this, because I'm going to go into our presets here and try and get something. Let's just have a mess around. Wow. Okay, that's kind of horrible. Okay, so some of this high-endy stuff is really harsh. Wow. Well, that's quite cool, isn't it? Let's see how this works. Okay, so with this, I want a bit more movement in it. Now, I don't have time to get into the movement, but the next step for me here now would be to start really making a lot more movement in the harmony. So there's some nice voice leading here in the tenor and the alto with this chromatic thing going on. Which is cool. So I'd probably start manipulating some of the rhythm and the harmony. But like as a concept, it's kind of working for me. However, I think time-wise, if you're actually using this on a professional gig, you'd really want to know what sounds you want to dial in together initially to kind of make it in any way fast at this process. But yeah, as ideas go, it's quite interesting because you have these 4 distinct voices, and let's have a little play around with placement. So if we put the tenor and the soprano perhaps on the right hand side. Whoa, and then keep the bass up the middle. It's really unusual. That's really weird. So obviously, if you're listening to this in headphones, I don't know what the stereo out in OBS is going to be like. If you're going to get this true stereo thing, maybe you will. I don't know. And then obviously you can go to town on effects and stuff. So I'm hearing like actually, I'm going to bust this. I'm going to bust everything to a giant reverb and a giant stereo delay, which, they're my go-to. I just like to have fun with them. With tape delay, I want a big stereo tape delay. Because it gives it a bit of movement, bit of, and stereo imaging. This could be fun. Because we could do like a filter pan. Yeah, look, I digress. I shouldn't have done that at all. I should just keep things at tape delay. Another thing, free plugin, third-party plugin from Valhalla gives you this super massive reverb. It's a little bit digitally sounding, it's a bit harsh sounding, but it gets you to some huge, massive spaces. Like, check out this for a reverb. So if we just play it on its own. Let's go even bigger. So it's a bit noisy and there's a lot going on. But you start getting into kind of cool places. So let's mess around. Bright room, there's no large, yeah. What's this like? Now, obviously, let's bus everything that's on the right-hand side to the same place. And then we might do something different for the left-hand side. This is just thinking off the cuff. So again, the harmonies kind of sounding a bit like nice, and the overall sound is quite cool and atmospheric, but then the harmony's a bit like, yeah, here we go. So my next port of call there would be to adjust the harmony and rhythms, which I'm not really going to do now because we're going to wrap up this little session. Oh, somebody came along and said hello. Here we go, Nelson. Ah, Nelson, how are you? Let me just fix my chat here. I can't. How's it going? Are you still there? Are you watching? Give us a thumbs up if you're watching. Live chat. Yeah. Hi, Nelson. How's it going? Welcome. So in summary, Paul Hartnell was definitely onto a winner there, wasn't he? And we can have a bit of space for more kind of growly low end. So this can be kind of bigger, can't it? And a bit more sustained. It's kind of like a spaceship. This is like aliens. I'm digging that, yeah, that's cool. So again, there's me going, changing sounds and not talking about what I'm doing, which is the whole point of this. I'm supposed to be talking more about what I'm doing. So let's see how that blends in. Yeah, I'm totally, like, that chord change has got to go. It's way too cheesy. But yeah, I'm liking where this is going so far. So for mental note, for next week, if I'm using Logic, I have to figure out a way of putting the plugin window onto OBS. I don't know how you do that. So if somebody knows how to add a plugin window to OBS, please let me know. And yeah, we're going to come back again and do some more of this next week. And it could be some totally different topic. It could be orchestral. Who knows? But yeah, this is just to summarize what I've been doing for the past hour is an idea I got from Paul Hartnell from the band Orbital about taking 4 or 3 monosynths and instead of thinking them as single lines, thinking of blending several monosynths together to create a kind of overall texture. And then as the course of your composition goes by, you can manipulate those sounds and you can change oscillators and you can adapt things. And one way you could think about it, you could do a monosynth string quartet, which could be very cool. Very Wendy Carlos, fantastic composer from the 70s, like absolute pioneer of synth. And yeah, synths are not my like number one. I know a lot about them, but they're so much fun to mess around with. And if you've got Logic, I mean, let me just find this here. Logic has such a great selection of synths. The retro synth here, I'm not sure if it's a mono. They have, I think this one is a mono synth, if I'm not wrong. No, it's not. But anyway, I've gone off my initial. I shouldn't have changed that. Anyway, there we go. Back to Mini Moog. Let's have a quick listen again. So pretty cool where you can get to in an hour with synths and with kind of sound design stuff in general. Yeah, so that's it. We made it. We made it through our first live stream. My first live stream in 5 years. And yeah, it was good to be back despite having 20 minutes of sheer panic attack when I was trying to figure out what I was doing. So yeah, please drop me a comment, and if there's anything you'd like to see explored or you fancy exploring with me on a live stream, compositional wise. So if you'd like to see me attempt to write something completely ridiculous using, I don't know, nose flutes from Peru. I don't have any nose flutes from Peru, but if you'd like to see that, drop me a comment and let me know. And yeah, if you have enjoyed the live stream, we'll see you again next week. I'm going to be back again next week doing more of this kind of stuff. And just because I did it, I'm going to be back here. Look, hey, I'm back to real life. So yes, I will see you next week. And yeah, have a good one. Enjoy your weekend.